doing today? This is D Durrell with D Durrell Life Solutions. I hope everybody is having a good day, an excellent day. Today is July 4th. We are basically, for those that do celebrate the independence of the United States, didn't mean it was the independence for black people, but it was the independence for the United States of America. Those that celebrate, I celebrate Juneteenth. That's just me. But I appreciate everybody for coming in today. I'm going to have a short discussion today, not a very long discussion, but I want to have just a decent discussion with you all today to kind of talk about self-care, talking about mental health. This is kind of an open discussion where people can give me, can put whatever questions that you may in the chat box. Talk about whatever you like. We can discuss it as it involves mental health. This week has been a very interesting week for me with the channel. A lot of things have happened, and what I like to say is that I want to thank you all for the support that I have received from people that know me to do different content, and they decided to come around and support my channel, my professional channel. I do appreciate those who have the ability to kind of take a break away from the other things that they like to watch and come and check out my channel. I do appreciate you all for doing that. And so I created a pretty good amount of content this week, more than what I usually would. I probably did somewhere around maybe 6 to 8 videos, and that's pretty much what I'm going to try to do throughout every week, to do at least 5 to 10 videos, spread them all out. May do 1 or 2 one day, may skip a couple of days, may do 2 or 3 one day, go live. I did plan, to be honest with you guys. Shout out to sometimes I get carried away. My goal was today to go live on StreamYard and do an open panel to kind of talk about mental health. I wanted to kind of talk about the Diddy situation from a mental health perspective. I plan to do a live stream, a couple of uploads first, and then do some live streams on that. But pretty much I wanted to kind of talk about self-care, and I wanted to kind of talk about the week that I've had on this channel, because I was very happy that I was able to drop as much content that I was able to do to release based on my busy schedule. And so I appreciated the responses that I got. I appreciated those that left comments in the comment section. So what I wanted to talk about was that as I continue to do content, I'm looking for new and more creative ways to do content, to talk about different topics. I'm in the realm of, in the mode of doing content. I'm not interested in talking about people. I'm not interested in beefing. I'm not interested in people who are stalking me, continuing to kind of bait me to get back into going back and forth. I'm not in that space anymore. That is the past. That's the past. I'm not in that space, and I know that for many people talked about me being in, this is a pattern of behavior where D. Durrell will leave and then come back. I have come to the realization that if I'm going to do certain things and fight certain things in a certain way legally, I can't be going back doing certain things. That's just what comes with it. And I accept that. And I'm good with that. Not to say that I won't go and dab in the chats and do little things here, but as far as me creating content, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. What's going on, YouTube cameras? How are you doing today? Hope you're having a happy 4th of July today. Hope you all, for those that like to pop fireworks. I had planned to barbecue today, and then I chose not to barbecue. I'm like, look, I had actually worked a little bit this morning when I got up this morning around, I was up around 8. I worked for like 2.5 hours. I had some nice seafood today, had some bars, shrimp, mussels, corn, potatoes, crab. That's what I had today. So that I enjoyed myself today. I watched some videos. I was watching some BMF. I like BMF. And so That's what I had going on. I had me a couple of daiquiris and stuff like that. Had me some. I had something called a high rider or whatever the hell it was, but that drink was, and I had an octane 6. Had me my little drink. I'm chilling. Had a good time, man, and I'm still having a good time. But right now I'm on relax mode, and so I'm today is self care for me. Today is self care for me, and I pride myself on knowing when I need to shut it down. On YouTube, I shut it down. If I'm doing too much of anything, or I'm not, or I feel like I'm neglecting an important aspect of my life, I shut it down. Today, my business is closed today. Nobody is working. Um, and to be honest, I could have very well, like on holidays and things of that sort, really be honest with you, the only 2 days out the year that make it that's difficult for me, where it's unacceptable, is basically Christmas and Thanksgiving. Any other day, basically in my field, particularly if you're doing a day programs and things of that sort, you can be open every day. And there are facilities similar to mine who are open on the 4th of July, who are open on Juneteenth, who are open on Labor Day, who are open on President's Day, Memorial Day, or whatever. I choose not. I have a lot of days that I take off. I have a lot of days. Pretty much, I won't have another day holiday until probably Labor Day, which is in 2 months. So that's basically how that goes. But I want to establish and have a discussion about self care. I would like the chat to talk about the things that you do for self care, and I can talk about the things that I like to do for self care. Um, One of the biggest things I like to do for self care is music. I enjoy writing music. I enjoy singing music. I enjoy producing music. That's an outlet. That's a thing that takes me away from the stress and things that go on with me being overly busy, overly worked. That's relaxing to me. That's relieving to me. It's therapeutic for me. Music is therapeutic for me. Basically, being out pretty much is not doing content, but when I'm actually out on the balcony like I am right now, and just looking at the water, feeling the breeze, relaxing, not doing anything, just basically enjoying the day, relaxing. That is self care. Um, Getting to me, I actually got my nails and feet done actually about 2 weeks ago. Going to the little places to go get your pedicure and your manicure. That is self care. A lot of women like to do that. Men do it too. I've been to many of these places. I try to support as many that are black owned, but most of them that I go to are Asian. But I go to, if I see one that is black owned, I will go to that, and I do that for self care. Exercising for self care. That's important. I like to read for self, as far as my self care. Just taking the time out to take yourself away from BS, to take yourself away from BS. And at one time, YouTube was a form of detachment. It was a form of self care for me because I do enjoy producing content, particularly uploads. When I am editing and creating thumbnails and editing videos, that is therapeutic for me. I really enjoy doing those things. Um, the thing that I least enjoy about doing content is not the fact that I'm doing live streams. Is when you're doing 2.5 to 3 4 hour live stream, that can be taxing. That that can be very taxing. Okay. Um, I don't mind doing live stream, doing it up. Like to me, I find the vertical streams are very easy and simple. I haven't went live on StreamYard in over a month. And when you do StreamYard, and I understand people talk about, you got to block people and you have your mods and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I had to give Carrie Ann a mod stick. Carrie Ann a mod. you know, when I'm doing those things are not, you know, like it become a bit stressful. People trying to porn bomb you and all this stuff. People trying to put crazy stuff in your chats. I don't enjoy doing that. You know, putting people on panels. You don't know who crazy coming up, but creating content is particularly the research you doing. You know, you editing. I like editing the new thumbnails that I have for my channel. Um, I spent probably um an hour on both of those new thumbnails that I have. I have one where I have people looking a certain way, all all anxious and emotional, and I have another one where I'm basically in a nice kind of serene type, relaxing, lit, well lit room with my picture on the screen and stuff. It took me about 45 minutes to do, about 40 minutes to do both of those those thumbnails, make sure they're right, and then I posted them. I don't really like to spend a lot of time doing thumbnails, but I do find it therapeutic to create content. Okay, I do. And yes, self care is good. Self care is definitely a must. Um, Tons of things. People like to go walking. People like to go hiking. You know, running around the park. You know, playing sports. Video games. Video games is something that I used to use for self care a lot. Be honest with you, my gaming experience drastically went down um, when they stopped creating a sports game called NCAA football back in 13 or 14, and then I got into YouTube. Basically, when I initially stopped playing video games, which I would play video games probably about 20 hours a week of video gaming, about 20, 30 hours a week of video gaming. Um, I basically went to YouTube. And most of my video gaming, I'd say half of that would be done on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's where I did the most of my gaming. And then probably during the week, I probably would do some days 2 hours, sometimes maybe 3 hours at the most. I don't think I would do no more than 3 hours on any given day. But on a Friday, I would game for maybe 5 hours. On a Saturday, I would game early as 10 o'clock. I game 6, 7, 8 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday. I did most of my gaming on Friday through Sunday for the most part. But that is self care. Getting a haircut is self care. Shaving, to me, things that keep you, to me, shopping. And I know people talk about retail therapy, and I'm pretty neutral on that term itself, but there's nothing wrong with retail therapy if you can afford. If you can afford to do the retail therapy, we don't want the retail therapy to be counterproductive if you can't really afford, where you're spending money that's supposed to go to other bills and you're out shopping, buying things. A lot of people talk to me a lot in therapy about retail therapy when they would go to various online websites to shop. Particularly, the favorite that most women and men would tell me about is basically Amazon. Amazon is, and maybe Walmart, and then some other shopping type sites and things like that. But Amazon would consider one of the top preferences for retail therapy. And again, I don't necessarily encourage or discourage. I'm pretty neutral on that. As long as you can afford to shop, then I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with using retail therapy if you can afford it. And also, I do encourage you um, having a budget with that. Does not get crazy carried away with that. But I'm pretty neutral on using retail therapy as uh, as self care. That may be another issue that's probably another topic I may talk a little bit more about. People utilizing retail therapy as a form of self care. What's going on, Queen of Sheba? I've been seeing you've been doing big things. I've been seeing your live streams I've been watching you from the closet, and I see your views are up. I see you got live streams. You doing your thing right now. You got live streams, 100, 200 people in the chat. So you doing your thing in the beef sector, man. More power to you. Appreciate you getting that success where you kind of, changing up and catering to a different crowd. Princess Sheba, appreciate you for being in, man. Stephen, I see you doing your thing, and I like to see that, man. I like to see people progressing. I like to see people prospering. I like to see people doing different things, new things. I don't like repetitive content. Repetitive content, I get real bored and want to do other things. So that's kind of where I'm at. So we're talking about self care, and also with that, we're talking about any mental health issue. I'm going to talk about a variety of mental health related topics as we talk about self care. But those are the things that I do for self care. I love traveling. To me, is a form of self care. I'm getting ready I've been on several trips this year. One, I've been to. I went to Vegas in April. I plan to do. I went to Vegas. I've been home a few times traveling, and then also, guys, I do plan to leave. I plan to take a trip out the country pretty soon. Hopefully, I do have some things planned, vacation planned. I got another vacation trip that I plan on doing soon. Before the year is over with, I plan to probably take two more vacation trips. Probably one in the fall and one in the winter time. And I may end up going back. I love going to Vegas, guys. And for those that don't know, I don't know, but there's a new sector coming around, the Vegas sector. I've heard people talk about it, but it came up on my algorithm. There's a guy that has a channel called the Vegas sector. I watch a little bit of it, not a lot. I'm just, I noticed the Vegas sector came about to me right after. It may have existed before, but I noticed the Vegas sector when that couple got killed by that guy over some YouTube nonsense. That's when I saw the Vegas sector channel and people who are in that sector. And I'm assuming people in that sector are people who are from Nevada or people who are from Las Vegas and surrounding areas. I would also think that the Vegas sector probably consists of a lot of people from LA and California, because a lot of people from Los Angeles and California, period, they go to Vegas for the weekend. It's basically a 4-hour drive. And every time I've been to Vegas, I run into at least 3 or more people that say they're from Las Vegas. That has happened every time. Every time I've been to Vegas, I've ran into several people who are from California, specifically Los Angeles. What's going on, Trini Gala? Stay tired. You doing today? Happy 4th of July. I'm chilling. The day has been pretty cool in Houston right now. It's about it's after 6 o'clock. It's kind of windy actually, and it's about maybe 80 degrees, between 80 and 85. It wasn't really a hot day today. It's been pretty cloudy. So I'm just enjoying my day. I'm enjoying the day. I'm enjoying a 3-day weekend. And not only am I off today, but I'm also off Friday and Saturday. And I plan to just relax, chill. Tomorrow I plan to go to what's called a black market, where there's a lot of black vendors at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. The Shrine of the Black Madonna is actually a Pan-African institution, religious institution. Pretty much Umar Johnson typically comes to the Shrine of the Black Madonna to engage in his speeches, to facilitate speeches and programs whenever he comes to Houston. He pretty much comes to Houston once every 2 or 3 years, I would say. I saw Umar in Houston in 2024. And I think he came another time in 2021, or was it 2021 or 2022? I want to say 2021. So yeah, So he comes every 2 or 3 years to Houston, and he, does his speeches and things of that sort. So she said, "Where at in Houston?" Oh, for me, I'm on the south. I'm in the Pearland area. I'm in South Houston, but Umar usually comes to the Shrine of Black Madonna, which is in the South Park area. That's kind of where Umar Johnson. Every time that I saw Umar Johnson like 4 or 5 times. Each time, and that's since 2014. Each time he came to the Shrine of Black Madonna. I seen Umar in 14. I saw him in 17. Yeah, he came in 14, 17. I saw him again in 21, and then 24. I saw him 4 times. So yeah. So also, guys, let's talk about a little bit of mental health. Pivot a little bit to mental health. Self-care is important for mental health. You heard the term "all work, no play." That's not a good thing. You have to have time for you to release. You have to have time to do things, to take yourself away from stressful situations, competitive situations, situations that wear on you, wear and tear on your mind, mentally and physically. Everybody needs a time. I propose every time you get off of work, as soon as you get home, you need self-care. At least 30 minutes to an hour to yourself. Self-care can just literally be you to yourself, by yourself, taking a nap, sleeping, not talking to anybody, not saying anything to anyone, just relaxing and just trying to clear your head, get your head together. Simple as that. So often when I'm online or in person, when people talk to me about managing their mental health, people, so a lot of people expect it to be a complicated task, and managing your mental health should not be, and is not. It can be difficult. It can be simple, but it can be hard for you to become consistent. But a lot of what we want to teach and reinforce and help people, shape people into doing is really not complicated situations. We want to be simple, but we want to have the ability to do these things, multiple things, as often as possible. How you doing, the cynical one? Good to see you. I saw you the other day. I think you was over there with Brownie Ellie, and I see her doing her little thing. She took some self-care. She took some time off. She's a person like, and I want women to understand this: doing your own makeup, getting your hair done. When Brownie Ellie is doing her makeup, that's self-care. That is self-care. Getting your makeup done, all of those type of things. That's one thing that I actually want to do. Getting a massage, getting your eyebrows done, getting shaved up, cleaned up. All of that is self-care. But one thing that I want to do, guys, and I haven't done, and for the ladies that's in the chat, you can kind of tell me. I would like to do, like I watch on TikTok and Instagram and specifically Facebook. I would like to do one of these 30-minute to an hour long facial type processes that people do that I've seen. I would see where people get their face steamed. They put all these different potions and liquids and lotions on their face, and they massage them down, and then they put a wet towel on you, leaning you back, and things like, man, that I saw this one facial process that someone got done, service that someone got done by a barber, I think, or whomever. And they had a 20-step process. And I've gotten a facial done at Massage Envy before a couple of times. That's the only time I actually got I got a facial done getting a massage. They would put the stuff on your face and then they'd wrap your face up. And to me, I didn't like the type of facial that I received. And it is relaxing, but they also put this peppermint minty stuff on my nose that was supposed to clear my nose up, and that literally had my nose stuffy, and I had difficulty breathing, and I didn't like that. And I did it twice, and each time I did this at Massage Envy. They literally would, there's some kind of mini whatever. I don't know what the hell they put that rub that shit. They rub it. They would rub it on your nose. I'm sorry, and it actually cleared it up, but then my nose started getting stuffy. So I didn't like that. But I would like to go to one of those type of salons or whatever where people will give you these step by step extensive um, facials that take a long time. They have it on there for 10 minutes, another 15 minutes. They're putting something else, and they're doing all these extra things. They shaving you up, they cleaning you up, all that type of stuff. Um, I would really really enjoy that. I would really enjoy that. But that's something I would probably want to do maybe once a month, once or twice a month. But massages is something I try to do at least 3 times a month to get a massage to just simple. Sometimes I may go to like a mall or something if I'm going shopping or something, and they have these Asians that are giving massages and they have you on this table and stuff. I literally go there and get a 15-20 minute massage. I enjoy doing that, and so I do encourage people to engage in those type of activities to manage their mental health, to manage themselves, because life always presents things that will stress you out or put you in a space, in a dark space or a bad space, a compromising position. That's basically what life does on a anytime on a daily basis. And so managing your mental health, part of coping with depression, coping with anxiety, stress, other mental ailments, and things of that sort, your mood related issues. Um, Engaging in activities that can be deemed as self care is a necessity. That's a necessity. That's pretty much a necessity. And so this week I talked about a variety of mental health issues. I talked about ketamine therapy, which I don't uh, necessarily. I would not refer anybody to do it. I think that I would refer them to go to a medical professional. I think that even though the research shows that it's effective, I don't feel comfortable referring people to seek that type of therapy. I talked about depression. I talked about anxiety. I talked about people dealing with as far as content creators, dealing with stalking, harassment, verbal, sexual harassment, bullying, all of these things that one would be able to see online. Um, I I don't necessarily, uh, you know, say that what may work for one person may not work for someone else. Okay, and so when I talk about mental health and I talk about things that may work, I'm not saying that this is a one size fits all scenario. What I'm saying is that these things are proven to work. You may try 2 or 3 things that may work for you, and then someone else may try another 2 or 3 things that works for them. Everybody's different. But having hobbies, having pleasurable activities, um, things that can take your mind away from whatever is affecting you, is a positive. And those are things that you should want to consider doing as much as you can. Okay? So I talked about that. Um, a lot of my future content will dive into as a content creator. As a content creator, um, how do you manage being online? Because no one should come online And the mere fact that you're coming on here to socially network and interact with people, a lot of this stuff is performative art, or you're acting and you're entertaining, and you get stressed out because people are doing things that have consequences that affect your life. No one has the intention of coming on a platform with that understanding and accepting as part of the as part of the agreement to do. Watched YouTube and other social media platforms with the expectation that I have to deal with long term. Nobody wants to. I have fought that. On here, I've been on YouTube for 7 years. 7 years. Okay. And the thing about it, you got to understand: the more popular you become, the more issues you have to deal with. Example myself. When I first came on YouTube, 2017, 2000, up into even 2018, I didn't start getting notoriety till the middle, till September, October of 2018. It took me well over a year and maybe 8, 9 months to start getting recognized and seen and by others who like watching my content. Okay. That and so when I decided to go live back on StreamYard Live, actually in April, even though I think I went live before that, but going live on StreamYard, you know, it created other problems. That's just part of it. The more people knew you, the more people want to comment on you. And to be honest, most of the free advertisement I got from other people doing was usually people in disagreement of what I would say. I didn't really get a lot of people doing content in reference to what I did in a positive, even though it did happen. I had people who would do a review of my video in a positive manner, and they would want me to interview them. They would want, or I interview them, they interview me. They wanted me to come and do content with them. That happened. So the first few interviews that I got were all positive. I had one interaction that was negative that turned positive, and me and her were cool, and we still cool to this day. Rashida Strobel. We started off not, just kind of had issues with each other, and then once we got to talking, we liked each other. We was cool. I'm cool to her to this day, and I support her to this day. But no one wants to come on a platform and become stressed out, to become scared, become fearful, anxious, having mental health breakdowns because you're online. Nobody wants to be angry all the time. No one wants to get depressed. No one wants to have, psychosis in the midst and want to fight and threaten people. If a platform is triggering you to do those things, you may want to think of something else to do. And so for me, I want to do positive content. I want to do real content that has titles, that has something where people can relate to. They can like or dislike. But this channel is a resource for managing mental health because I can talk eloquently about almost any mental health issue, particularly those that I specialize in. And even if I don't specialize in a particular issue or type of problem, or don't have a proper license, I can speak professionally to some effect and then refer you to route you in the right direction. I do that all the time. I route people in directions where people may have issues that I may not be able to relate to, but I can route you to a person who can and who will help you. Okay? So this is a positive. That's the positives. I also want to say, guys, that I have had several authors who who have self-help related books that have watched my channel, and they offered me digital books that I'm currently working on reading, and I will be doing reviews on those books. Now, those reviews that I will do will be uh, StreamYard live streams. I plan on doing that. I have three um, books that I'm going to be reading, audio books. I mean, not audio books, but digital books that I've received. I've received three invitations in the last month and a half. I usually turn these things down, but now that I'm making it a point of emphasis to be on this channel, this is content. So I plan on reading those books. I will summarize, and I will give maybe a 45 minutes to an hour long summary of those books and whether I like the book. To me, it's not really about whether I like the book or not. Um, but I would talk about the positives and what I think negative. And that's not for me to decide. It's for you to decide. I'm not going to deter anybody from supporting a book unless I felt the book had information that was not correct, that I know is not correct. Then I would probably opt not to even go live and talk about that book in any form, shape, or form. But for the most part, if I find the topic interesting, if I find it is something that can be beneficial to everyone, I will discuss it. But I have three books. I have three digital books that I will be um, I will be giving reviews on, and people can go in and buy the book. Each book is on Amazon, and these books are affordable. But I haven't. I've actually started reading one, but I'm gonna probably um, take about 3 or 4 days or a week to maybe read each book, and then I'll go live and discuss the book. That's what I plan to do after I read the book. I've done book reviews. The last book review I did was on the Queen, Priscilla the Queenmaker. I did 2 book reviews. Those were negative book reviews because I knew that the books were BS. However, I gave professional academic reviews on the book because they were poorly written. Those were poorly written books. Regardless, that was to me the biggest thing. Is not that the rhetoric or the information was to me just below what an adult should be doing. Like the books literally focus on, they use anecdotal information on YouTube and Facebook as a means of supporting her supporting her stance. This is research based at all on things that you have plenty of research on. So I was disappointed in the fact that you have a chapter that's only 1 page. That yeah, that's where I'm. So that's the last time I did a book review. And I would do other book reviews. So, anybody have any questions or anything like that? Because I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this live stream up. But I wanted to kind of talk about mental health. Anybody has a question about depression, anxiety, anger, dealing with relationship issues, just stress management, just managing your life, time management, finding yourself having panic attacks, anything like that, cognitive related issues, focusing on those things that psychosis, anything like that. I'm open to talking about that. And this what this channel is for. I also want to mention, guys, that as I continue to grow, I do want to create a more intimate and more tight-knit form of a communication through the memberships, and I am going to start advertising with people that want memberships, and I will give more specific clinical information in those videos, and I will talk about different things in more detail that can help people. But I want you all to understand, I will say this, that this platform is not intended to provide therapy or to be your therapist or for me to provide mental health services. Not at all. But I can be used as a tool to route you in the right direction, and you can learn and be exposed to information that can help you with whatever issues that you are dealing with. Okay? So, with that being said, guys, I appreciate you all for being here. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. This is D Durrell with D Durrell Life Solutions. Have a great day.